Hello and welcome to Battletech 3025 Commander's Edition. We're continuing our series on this mod, both on YouTube and also on Twitch. So if you're seeing this video on YouTube, please check out our Twitch TV profile at Commando Gaming 1. And we have a very extensive schedule, and we stick to it pretty concretely with respect to the times that we stream. We're currently streaming 3 games on twitch.tv on a regular basis. Of course, there's Battletech, as you're seeing right here. We also have Satisfactory, which we're playing right now. We just started a series on that. And then we also have Space Haven, which is a new early access game. If you're watching this on twitch.tv, please check out our YouTube channels, which are Commando Gaming and Battletech Battles. And with that, let's jump right back into Battletech. So I did play for about 30 minutes off camera. Just a quick little FYI, just a couple quick missions. Nothing of significance happened, so we should be able to jump right into this. So what we need to do is, as always, we need some pilots. That's the biggest determinator here. Even when we have all the pilots that we have 12 pilots right now, we're still running out of pilots. So let's go to the hiring hall now that we have some money. Oh, this is nice. So when we came into this system, Showboat was available, and Showboat is a very solid character. If you've played Battletech for any period of time, you've probably come across Showboat at one point or another, and she is a very solid pilot. She has a wide range of abilities, and I wanted to add her, but unfortunately our level with the Mercenary Review Board was not sufficient for us to hire her. Fortunately, after a couple missions, we can now actually hire Showboat. Now, she's not cheap, but fortunately we gathered up some money, so let's actually hire Showboat. And I guess I'm going to hire this guy just to have a body at this point. I'm not excited about him. So we've literally cleared out the hiring hall. We've hired everybody in the system that we can. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to necessarily jump in. So that gives 2 more characters. So let's make sure I don't have to do anything with Showboat. Excited to have Showboat. Very solid mech. Okay, I do. So I can actually do some things here. So I could actually give her... Let's work on Showboat's gunnery. Need that more than anything else right here. Also, her guts are pretty low. So let's do that. Alright. Glad I checked on that. This other guy, I don't know how long he's going to stay. To be honest with you, he's probably going to be on the chopping block. I know there's a lot of company commanders that like to stay loyal to their mech warriors. I switch out my pilots on a regular basis if I find a better pilot. But right now, we just need any pilot we could get. So now we have 2 pilots available. Alright, so we need 2 more. So we need to wait till Rook here becomes available. We're also going to finish upgrading our lounge. Alright, so that's nice. So let's look at engineering, because we actually have a little bit of money right now. So what do we want to spend money on? automation is pretty viable at this point. It's going to be done pretty quickly. Allows Mech Bay 2 and Mech Bay 2 to repair at 100% efficiency. I think we're going to do that. It's a lot of money, but I think we'll be okay. Sometimes you got to spend money to make money. I heard that once before. So let's look at the command center, see what we have left we can do here. We've got battle for the Federated Suns. Let's look at our, before we go too far, let's take a quick look at our reputation right now. Now, as you can see, there's no clans here because the clans haven't come in yet. So it's basically limited to the inner sphere, of course, with pirates. Let's see, we're actually already liked by the Federated Suns, which is good. Everybody else is indifferent with us, which is fine, because I'm trying to become allied with House Davion first. So let's go do the Surveillance Outpost mission, capture base. And we actually need some money at this point, so let's do 3, 12, and 451. I think that's a very balanced reward right now. All right. So our mechs, I mean, we're a little light on mechs right now. There's no question about that. Before we do this mission really quickly, let me see when we're going to have some more mechs available. You know, if I wait one more day, I can have my dervish. I'd like that. So let's wait one more day. Okay. It just gives me a little bit more flexibility as far as the mechs that I want to take for this mission. We're going to be traveling after this mission, so while we are going to have the ability to do repairs. Alright, so this is going to be probably, yeah, this is going to be our best situation in my opinion. So let's actually put Showboat in the Valkyrie here. A little risky putting a high level character in a Valkyrie, but I want to get the most out of that Valkyrie. So I think that's a good idea. And I need to keep working on leveling up Porcupine here. So we'll put him in the Shadowhawk. Now, as you can see, you don't always put your best pilot in your best mech. So sometimes, and I've done this frequently, this will require more firepower than that. Okay. More firepower than that. So I could try, I could take my Phoenix Hawk. Okay. So we'll take the Phoenix Hawk instead of the Valkyrie. So after this mission, we're probably going to be traveling anyways. So theoretically, if we have some mech damage, it's not that big of a deal. Because we're going to do some, even some injuries, minor injuries, because we're going to be doing a quick jump. I'm right now, we're at the border of Capellan, Davion, and St. Ives territories. So in the timeline, because this game is actually true to the timeline, the Federated Commonwealth is at war with the Draconis Combine, which means most of their traditional forces are fighting House Kurita, which means there's actually a significant need for mercenary forces to hold the line against the Capellans on House Davion and Cabellan space. So we should, believe that's part of the reason some of these missions are actually pretty high as far as their C-bill bonus and their payday bonuses. I'd have to do some research to find out if, for example, if the houses are in a tough spot and they need mercenary forces in a particular area, does the payments for completion of missions increase? I think it does. So we're going to have to check that out. If you're watching this on our stream, feel free to include any comments in the chat. If you have any questions about this mod, if you have any suggestions on what we should do, please feel free to speak up. I'm not necessarily going to do everything that people suggest in the chat room, but certainly if you have some feedback, we'll take that under advisement. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. We're getting a little Battletech in before the rest of the day. Just a quick programming note, later on today, this evening, we're going to be having some satisfactory gameplay, so please tune in for that. Alright, there's our capture base. Alright, I know this map very well. Alright, so it looks like we're in a scenario here where we're going to be scouting the base, capturing the base, and then there'll probably be some sort of a counterattack. Oh, nope, I was wrong. I'm wrong often. Nope, we do have a defending force. They just didn't highlight that in the information we had. Alright, so let's move everybody forward. Alright, entering combat. Alright, so we got a Phoenix Hawk here, 45-tonner back there, maybe another Phoenix Hawk, and that's all we can see right now. Alright. So one of the tricky things about this mod, which is different than, for example, Advanced 3062, is you cannot sprint and shoot. In Advanced 3062, you can sprint, and then just you have an accuracy penalty, which after a while just kind of isn't a factor. So I do note on my Dervish, I probably have to update this, probably put some more SRMs in it. When I originally built out this mech, I didn't have enough SRMs, but I can definitely beef up the firepower on this Dervish. A Dervish with SRMs is a really nice mech at this stage of the game. Alright, let's hit this Phoenix Hawk. Good hit percentages here. Don't know if there's turrets yet. I don't think there are. Alright, so we're going to move up our trebuchet here. Same thing. I mean, we have this Phoenix Hawk completely isolated, so we're just going to keep hammering this guy. When you have an enemy outnumbered and outgunned, you have to... Ooh, alright. Even better. So this guy decided to hightail it, which really just exposed him to a rear attack. Oh, there we go. There goes that mech, just like that. Alright, let's sprint. Now we can sprint up our Shadowhawk to get him caught up because we don't have a target. Alright, we got an enemy Stinger. just because we have an objective of capturing that base doesn't mean we have to be overly aggressive. That's one thing people have to keep in mind with this game is I consider a capture base mission two different missions. So we looks like we do have a turret, I think, or that was a mech. Probably a turret. So what I mean is, in this situation, our first mission is a simple battle, and we have no reason to have a battle at a certain pace or do it in a certain way. We can retreat and have the enemy move forward to engage us. We can flank. There's lots of different things to do. There's nothing that says we have to aggressively push forward to the base just because our mission is to capture the base. A lot of people get so focused that they advance too quickly and then they get hammered by turrets and mechs at the same time. No reason for that. Alright, another Phoenix Hawk. Alright. So we still have something with an AC over there, whether it's a turret or not. So this is one of the tricky parts about the Shadow Hawk, or the Phoenix Hawk, sorry. We get a significant boost in damage and accuracy if we jump, but at the same time, we generate heat. So it's a real catch-22. Not the best hit percentages here. So what we're actually going to do, since Showboat is our sensor locker, let's do a sensor lock. And that actually sets up Porcupine here to be much more successful, which is good because he's a lower level pilot. And all of a sudden, he looks like he's an expert pilot because of that sensor lock. So let's hammer this Phoenix Hawk hard. So that's a perfect example of sometimes your scouts, you want them to take shots. Like for example, when we had Showboat take out that Phoenix Hawk because it was a perfect opportunity to get a rear shot. But sometimes there's nothing wrong with just having your scout do a good old-fashioned sensor lock. Alright, so what are we going to do here? Now, theoretically, the Phoenix Hawk is the bigger threat, but on the other hand, we finish off this Stinger, then we got one less enemy on the field. So that was the smart play in my opinion. Those of you in the chat room, would you have targeted the Phoenix Hawk first before you targeted the Stinger? I always like to take targets off the field as quickly as possible. All things being equal, I will target the most powerful target, but sometimes it makes sense to just go after a weak target just to get it off of the field. Alright, let's do target strike on that Phoenix Hawk's leg. No joy. Move. Let's not. Okay. Right, so we have a 55 tonner there. That's what the AC firepower is coming from. Still not seeing. Like here, we'll just take the shot against the Phoenix Hawk. Let's see what Porcupine can do here. Still good hit percentages here because the Phoenix Hawk has lost its evasion. That's another important thing. Ooh, my Dervish. This Dervish really needs some more armor because it always seems to get beat up very early in missions. So, something to think about when we travel. I probably need to completely revisit this Dervish. Ouch. Whoa. Alright, we lost a leg. our trebuchet. That's just bad luck. That was just a really lucky shot, I think. Alright, so now we're in a tough spot here. Okay. Alright, now we need... Alright. Alright, now this is a pretty aggressive move for our Phoenix Hawk here. Shadowhawk. Alright, the Shadowhawk, enemy Shadowhawk went after a trebuchet instead of our... Alright. Now we're in a bit of a pickle. This is a perfect example of why you don't have to necessarily rush into engage. Because now, well, we're lucky we got some hits there. That was a low hit percentage. Alright, so we need to get our trebuchet up. Fortunately, our trebuchet didn't lose any weapons. Alright, we're going to move our trebuchet out of there, and let's hit this Phoenix Hawk with indirect fire. Alright, so now I've got 2 mechs with structural damage. Not the best way to be. Alright, going after our Phoenix Hawk. Alright, so we need to push down our dervish here. Melee on our Phoenix Hawk. Alright, now we got 3 mechs that have damage. This is definitely turning out to be a rough mission. I could see why they thought we were under-tunned initially. Us getting structural damage so early on was definitely a tough place to be. Alright, so we're going to do a little jump here. It's the beauty of the Phoenix Hawk. We're going to be able to use all of our weapons, but we're going to be able to use enough. Shadowhawk is going to kind of have to sprint down for a round. Of course, we got hostile reinforcements. Alright, this is a problem. Alright, do we know what we're up against here? So we got a Phoenix Hawk, a Chameleon, and a Rifleman. Alright. Looks like there's only 3 enemy reinforcements. Okay, so... So that's the bad news is we're in a caught between a rock and a hard place here. So I'm actually forced to push my dervish down. Precision strike here. definitely in a tough spot here, so we need to keep moving our trebuchet, especially away from this new group. So we can still take advantage of its firepower. Phoenix Hawk doesn't have much left. Alright, so we're gonna do move, not a jump, because we need to save some heat here. Oh, that Phoenix Hawk pilot should have punched out there, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a little biased here. Alright, so our Shadow Hawk has a great shot at the rear of that Shadow Hawk, so let's take advantage of that. We need to make every shot count here. Alright, they're going to keep going after a trebuchet. Hang in there, Hound. Hang in there. Alright, we're in a definitely in a tough spot here. Definitely in a tough spot. Let's see if we can finish off this Phoenix Hawk here. This should be it for the Phoenix Hawk. No. Our trebuchet is not going to last much longer. Could do a withdrawal here. Not quite ready to do that yet. Yeah, we're going to do a withdrawal here. Yeah, it did warn me that we were under-tonned here. I bit off more than I could chew, and I can admit that. So I'm actually going to punch out here. Sometimes you have to be smart enough to just know that you got to lick your wounds and learn to fight another day. So we're going to minimize our damage and injuries here and just bail. I can count the number of times I've done this. Failed mission. Well, I said I needed to rebuild my dervish, didn't I? So there's that. So, you know, this happens. I mean, I know that there's a, so this is a fail. We still got some faction reputation. So we got a little bit of money. Not close to what we need. We got no salvage. Alright, so that was a disappointing mission. But hey, that happens sometimes. I'm not afraid to have a failure on camera. I know there's some streamers who get very frustrated, but you know what? Sometimes the game just throws something that's a little too heavy at you, and you just have to recycle your weapons and start over. A little too aggressive there. I could have skipped that mission. I could have waited until we had some more mechs. I probably got a little overconfident there because we've had some significant success the last couple of missions. Really how the enemy, if those reinforcements had waited until we captured the base, I think we would have been fine. Alright, so we got some things to do. Now fortunately we do have some stuff to sell, so let's do that. Because we got some repairs to make. So we got a extra Centurion. Let's go ahead and sell that. I have an extra Stinger. Let's go ahead and sell that. So that will offset some of our repairs. All right, we got some repairs to do. All right, not too bad. 3 heat sinks. Now we wanted to revisit this because a dervish is not really ideally an LRM build. So we're actually going to start from scratch here a little bit. So we're going to keep our 2 medium lasers. Do SRM 6. SRM 6. SRM 4. And I guess SRM 2. That's what I have available. Still need to replace my heat sinks. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that still gives, I'd love to have more SRMs, but I need the weapons and I don't want to pay for them. So we're gonna deal with this the best we can right now. So then we're gonna do SRM ammo. We have 2 available, so we'll put those in there. That gives me another 3 tons remaining. So let's actually do another heat sink. And let's max out our armor. Or do we want to take that heat sink out and put in another ton of armor? No, this is going to run hot. So we're going to have to do that. Let's try to take some, we can take some armor off the rear. Try to beef up that armor in the front. Not too worried about the arms. Okay. Alright, so it's going to take 12 days. Good thing we're going to be traveling, right? Alright, our trebuchet. Ooh, we lost some heat sinks too. Originally it was just that leg, and then we lost some heat sinks. Whoa. All right. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can take out this LRM 15 and LRM 5. We'll put in the LRM 20. That's a more efficient use of our weapons, our weapon space. Probably need another ton of ammo, like so, just to make sure we stay in the fight. And then we're going to do medium lasers. Oh, we still need heat sinks. That's what I'm... All right. So we need our heat sinks. This thing's going to run a little hot. I think we'll be okay. It's going to be 11 days. If you're joining us in the Twitch stream, please feel free to add some commentary in the Steam chat if you have any feedback on what we should do, especially when it comes to putting these mechs together. Alright, luckily the Shadowhawk's just going to take 1 day. We don't have to change anything. Same thing with our Phoenix Hawk. Alright, so we got a lot of repairs going on here, so let's try to prioritize. This is one of the most important things that you have to do in this game. You have to prioritize your repairs. A lot of people just kind of blow it off. They're like, things will get done when things get done. But you gotta get to the point where you can have mechs out there as quickly as possible. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, and we only have 3 functional mechs right now. We have a whole bunch of stuff in repair. Alright, now we need to travel. Alright, so here we are. We're at the border. Alright, so we do have a travel contract available. But, yeah, no, it's a 4-skull mission. We do have a... We do have a flashpoint available. That might be viable, but then the problem is there aren't a lot of missions there. So what I want, right now we're in a 2-skull, so I'd like a 2-skull or a 3-skull planet right now. Let's see what's available. Alright, so we have one that's not that far away. It's a hot environment. this one here, 23 days, 31 days, 19 days. All right. Those are our options, or we can go with a 2.5. Let's see what we have for 2.5 skull missions. Do we have one that's close by? We do. So we have Safeport here. It's 25 days away. All right, I think we're gonna go here. So two skull. That's probably about right now. We have 19 days for travel. We got a whole lot of repairs to get done. Let's see what we can get done here. All right, fortunately we're getting some mechs back. All right, we finished that automation, which is really good because we need that boost in repairs. Now we're going to be able to work on 2 mechs at 100% efficiency. So do we do improved automation? That's actually pretty cheap. But that doesn't help us right now because we don't have the 3rd mech bay yet. What do we need to get the 3rd mech bay? Improved power conduits. Okay, yep, this is the pick right here. We are really running light on funds. Really running light on funds. Alright, so this is a really bad situation because we don't actually have a lot of choice. Oh, morale decreased by 3. Oh, that's really devastating there. We didn't have a choice. I didn't have the money to put money away for retirement, basically, for our mech warriors and for our techs. I would have liked that, but we didn't have the money. Okay. We need money. Now that's a little deceiving because we do have some mechs that we are going to be able to sell pretty quickly. But that's one thing about this game, this mod versus Advanced 3062, finances can be very tight. I've put a lot of money into upgrades in the Argo, but like we desperately need some Kizash right now. And there's a couple things we could do. For example, let's go to the mech bay real quick. Now I put together this Centurion. I could sell that. What's wrong with the Centurion actually? Oh, that's right. We needed SRM ammo on this bad boy. No, I don't want to sell a Centurion yet. Let's see. Yeah, we're okay with money at the moment. All right. So what repairs do we have? We still have the Dervish 5 days, Trebuchet 8 days. So we really need just to take a couple missions to get back ahead of our finances here. Let's see what we have available. Okay. All right, so we have a take the bait, but that doesn't really work because we need money. Clash of the Titans. Raiding party. Let's do this 1.5 skull raiding party mission. Yeah, we're gonna keep the. Yeah, we're gonna keep the salvage right there. I just want to get some cash at this point. Just a reminder, if you are watching the stream, please feel free to chime in with your feedback. All right, let's take our Griffin, our Wolverine, Phoenix Hawk. Let's see. Let's take a fire starter. This is a 1.5 skull mission. So let's take a fire starter and let's take a Valkyrie as well. We got to make some smart decisions here simply because we're not going to take Showboat because it's a 1.5 skull mission. Let's see, we really need to get a Carver speed. So let's get Carver in there. Let's get, we'll take Porcupine. Trying to get him up to firepower. His firepower up. We need to take at least 2 quality mech warriors. Actually, no. For a Valkyrie, we want to take someone with high piloting more than anything else. Let's take Hulk. All right, so we got a Wolverine, Valkyrie, Firestarter, and a Shadowhawk here. I'm trying to manage my mechs and my pilots to churn through as many missions as possible right now. Because we need cash. If you're watching our Twitch stream, please feel free to give us a shout out in the chat room. Tell us who you are so we can acknowledge you. We love to interact with the people on our Twitch stream, so please feel free to reach out. If you have any questions about the game, we're playing Battletech Extended 3025, Commander's Edition. Very challenging mod. Yeah, I've played a lot of mods for Battletech because I'm over 3,300 hours in the game. Yeah, I'm really torn about which mod is my favorite since I've played so many. You know, I would really, I hate to say it, but about 2 years ago, Rogue Tech was kind of at its peak as far as viability, and that was probably my favorite mod at that time. Unfortunately, Rogue Tech kind of became unplayable. It's very unstable. It hasn't been really updated for the recent updates. There's some shenanigans going on. I wouldn't say necessarily cheating per se, but more along the lines of there's some really bad exploits in the Rogue Tech mod, and since it's an interactive map, you know, that kind of takes the fun out of it when people are using those exploits to make things unfair, and then the community doesn't seem to really want to do anything about it. So I stopped playing Rogue Tech for those reasons. I've played Advanced 3062 recently, and you can see that in our on our YouTube channel, Battletech Battles. There's a whole bunch of 3062 in there, and I'm really enjoying this mod as well. I find this one very challenging, actually. Not just the mech combat, which I feel is ratcheted up, but also some of the game mechanics make this a little harder. The finances are definitely more challenging in this mod than in Advanced 3062. As you can see, since my company is close to bankruptcy, obviously we're not going to go bankrupt. There's lots of things we can do between now and the next 25 days to fix that problem. And part of that is we've spent a lot of money and resources on the Argo, and that will pay off. All right, this should be a very straightforward battle. I dropped a little light intentionally because with this battle, I want to make sure that we don't have a situation where we have some of our better mechs nicked up here, and then we have to stop running operations. So we need to run as many operations in the next 25 days, 25 game days as possible. Now, fortunately, I think I have 14 pilots right now, so theoretically, I should be able to run close to continuous operations. Especially if I add maybe 1 or 2 more pilots once we get some more cash. And sometimes at this stage of the game, you're just kind of running through whatever pilots you can hire at a cheap price and seeing which ones stick and which ones don't. I mean, that's actually a thing. You know, you want to say, hey, we would like all really good pilots, but we can't afford really good pilots. Or sometimes we're going to have to take a farm boy who has experience with some Argo mechs and say, okay, you're going to be our new pilot. Let's give you a chance and see what happens. All right, taking a little while to load here. Hopefully we're not having a freezing problem. Although my cursor's moving along just fine, so I think we're doing okay. There we go, begin mission. All right, so we need some cash. All right, we got enemy contact right off the bat. All right, enemy dropship landed somewhere in this area, Commander. All right. Oh, okay. So we got some reinforcements. That helps a little bit. So we have a couple vehicles that are going to be helping us. You know, help is help. Getting a little lag. Hopefully that will work itself out here. All right, we got an enemy mech. He's moving towards us, so the beauty of it is we can see if he'll come to us. You know, just because your mission, and I touched this on the last mission, just because your mission is to attack the enemy doesn't mean you need to mindlessly move towards them. Sometimes There's nothing wrong with seeing if the enemy will just come to you. Alright, so we got some vehicle support here. So how does that change what we're going to do? Don't think it does. Alright, so I think we're going to take our lights and we're going to push them up so they can flank. Our fire starter and our Valkyrie. We're going to push them up just right at the edge of the buildings here so they still have cover. And then they're going to pop out in the next round. Alright, and then let's see. You know what? We're not. Can we fit down that alley? I don't think we can. Alright, so we're all gonna actually go down that road. I was hoping we could set up what's called an L ambush, which is basically you have a defensive line and then you have a flanking force that goes out in one direction and you kind of catch the enemy in a crossfire. I was trying to set that up. I don't think that's going to work here. Simply because we can't get up into this area. I was hoping we could. Alright, there goes one of our reinforcements. Good thing we weren't counting on them. Alright, so we got 3 enemy mechs here. So what do we want to do? Let's pop out with our Valkyrie. What do we got here? Ooh, a Crusader. Alright, they're not messing around. Definitely want to try to hit this Crusader as hard as we can. We got a Crusader and a Trebuchet. Alright, this is some serious firepower we got going on here. To push up with our Wolverine. Our Wolverine's gonna have to do some tanking here. And we got a Javelin. Okay. So we still are really gonna be hitting hard with our... Try to hit this Crusader as hard as we can, as quickly as we can. We got a pilot injury. That's good. Alright, let's push up with our Shadowhawk. Again, we need to hit this Crusader as much as we can early. Alright, I'm not sure what our allies are doing here. They're not doing much to help us so far. Alright, that Crusader is just going to shred us up. Unless we can... to keep pushing in. Not a lot of strategy here. We need to just hammer this Crusader with as much as we can. Ideally, if we can get that Crusader to eject, that would be huge here. Alright, going after our Valkyrie. It's okay. push up with our fire starter. Ideally, we want to get it into the point where it can do some melee. Love to take out a leg on this Crusader. Okay, we gotta keep pushing in on this Crusader. We gotta ignore everybody else. We need as many shots on this Crusader as we can get right now. This is where morale is a little bit of a problem here, because my morale is low. Otherwise, we'd have targeted strikes on this Crusader. That would really help right now. Just hoping we can take out that leg. That leg has 23 structural left. If we can just get in a good hit on that leg. There we go. Nice. Oh, pilot incapacitated. All right, Crusader's down. That is huge for us right here. Okay, so there's only 3 enemy units. So getting that Crusader down quickly. Pilot injury. Great. That is not what we needed. All right, let's have our Valkyrie focus on keeping this Javelin busy. Precision strike. This Valkyrie actually has pretty good firepower for its tonnage. And I don't really care about salvage on a Javelin, so we are going to get our fire starter in for melee on this Trebuchet. We got to start heating him up. Nice. Let's actually do melee on this Javelin. See, the Trebuchet there is actually on the backward slope from a heat standpoint. So it actually makes sense for us to just attack this Javelin here. Alright, pilot injured. Our reinforcements are doing nothing to help us here. Alright, finally they give us a little fire support. Alright, Valkyrie. Valkyrie's not going to do anything for me when it comes to melee on that Javelin. So let's just have the Valkyrie keep the Trebuchet busy. Alright, let's do a curb stomp on this Javelin. There we go. There goes the Javelin. It's not always taking out the biggest enemy, although we did target the Crusader here, but there's a reason for why I did that. So let's actually do melee on this Trebuchet. Keep him overheated so he can't use his weapons. Alright. Pilot injured. Alright, so the Trebuchet had no choice but to fire there. Gave it some structural damage. I would argue he did more damage to himself than he did to us. But he was about to get killed anyway, so he had no choice. And there we go. Alright. Nice smooth mission. We did get a pilot injury. That is a bummer. All right, so Rook is going to be out for 18 days. That's very painful. He's one of my better pilots. No structural damage to our mechs. That's a good thing. All right, so we get 2 Crusader parts. I really like Crusaders. Hopefully we'll get the 3rd Crusader part as part of our roll here. Let's see. We did. Okay. So we got a Javelin part, a Trebuchet part. Some actually pretty good mech components. Can't complain about that. Alright, so more importantly, we should be back in the black, as they say right now, which means we won't be on the verge of bankruptcy. So that was just a good quick mission to get us out of bankruptcy. Alright, hopefully you're enjoying this gameplay as much as I am. It's a lot of fun. This mod, I mean, you've really, and I say this so much, but I really appreciate the quality of the Harebrained Schemes original base game that allows not only 3 very successful DLCs, but it allows the support of multiple mods that makes this game playable. And actually, it's still my favorite game, like 2.5 years after it came out. It's pretty impressive. You know, you compare that with MechWarrior 5, which I played for about a month, and then I was like, yeah, it's not really that much fun anymore. So, and I think that was kind of the response to everybody to MechWarrior 5. Now, I know there's a new mod out there, and I might want to try that out at some point. I'd love to see some commentary either in the chat room or in our video comments on YouTube. Would you like to see MechWarrior 5 reloaded on our channels? Because I kind of got burned out on MechWarrior 5 really quickly. Alright, so we're going to need some repairs. Alright, we're still... I really need to want to get the Centurion up and running again, or up and running, but I need SRM ammo for that. Do I want to buy SRM ammo? I hate to buy ammo. You know what? It's only... You know what? We're going to do that. I hate to buy ammo. It's one of my pet peeves, is buying ammo, but I'll go ahead and do it here. SRM ammo. Alright, let's max out the armor. Alright, that gives me another viable mech, and it's only going to be 2 days. And I do like a Centurion. I think a Centurion is a very viable mech for its tonnage. So let's make that our priority. We'll have that available in 2 days. Or 1 day. Alright, so we'll probably have enough time for one more mission in this stream/video. So let's make it count. Alright. Alright, let's do this take the bait mission. We still need cash, so we'll keep things right there from a reward standpoint. Do do I want to take something else? You know what? I'm going to take a Griffin instead of my Shadowhawk. And I'm going to roll with my Valkyrie and my Firestarter, because I think that went pretty well last time. Alright, so this is going to be the last mission of this video. Let's take a high quality lance. Let's not play around here. We're going to take our best pilots here. Alright, since it's probably going to be our last mission, unless this is a super quick mission, we'll take some of our better pilots here. Now what we're probably going to do after this mission is I'm probably going to see if I can hire a couple more pilots, because what we want to do is to get enough pilots that we can just literally continuously operate. So we want to have 4 pilots that can then have a mission, then have 3 days off, then 4 pilots have a mission, then 3 days off. So we can actually continuously rotate our pilots and get as many missions in these next 25 days as possible. Now we're going to be out of the black here, so technically we'll be out of bankruptcy after this mission, but we still need to generate significant cash because we need to add another mech bay. We need to do lots of upgrades on the Argo. I know a lot of players, I've seen a lot of players in streams who kind of blow off expensive investments in the Argo, but really you want to invest in the Argo as early as possible, as much as possible, because the benefits really build up over time. So I would rather be money poor but Argo rich, if that makes sense, early in the game, than rich but not really upgrading the Argo, because eventually it's going to pay off in spades. Now I've also seen there is a mod out there that says, which is a Leopard Forever mod, which basically means you just run around in a Leopard forever without getting the Argo. It's kind of interesting. What I would like to see is the Leopard is a little limited. What I would like to see is a mod that lets you just have a traditional dropship instead of the Argo. So maybe you can do some upgrades, but not as much as the Argo allows you to do. I think that would be interesting. It would be more realistic also from a lore standpoint. You know, obviously the Argo is a one-of-a-kind ship. It's unrealistic that every mech commander could get their hands on the Argo. So there's also some mods out there that you stay in the Leopard until you do a bunch of flashpoints that get you the Argo. So that's another way to go too. So what are the comments in the chat room? Do you like the fact that you can have the Argo? Would you like to have, like I said, maybe a mod that allows you just to have a regular dropship instead of the Argo? I mean, you could even have a dropship that still has the upgrades available of the Argo, but just call it a dropship. A regular dropship mod. I think that would be interesting. Basically, you'd be just changing the skin of the Argo to that of a regular dropship. There's probably enough art in this game of dropships that you could probably make that work. I'm not a programmer or a developer of mods, but just thinking outside the box, I think that would be cool if there was a dropship mod that just changed the Argo into a regular dropship. Right, this will be our last battle. It's a 2-skull mission. Again, we're just at the early stages of our company. So the goal for this stream and for this series is we came in 10 years before the clan war. So I want to max out our mechs, our technology, etc. So when the clans come, we can go up and engage them and feel pretty comfortable with it. You can't. I wish there was. So for this game, you can either play 30-25, which is basically the vanilla game timeline. You can do 30-39, which is 10 years before, or 30-30, which is 10 years before the Clan Wars. And then we have 30-49, which is the Clan Wars. And then we have After Tukid. I really wish you could go in maybe 5 years before the clans, because I think that's all the time I would need to ramp up. But we don't have that as an option. And I don't think you could show up right when the clan wars happen and really have a viable company to fight the clans. You're just not going to have the firepower. All right, here we go, city environment. All right, where's the enemy units? All right, they're not too far away. So let's see, we probably just want to move down this street, and then if they move this way, we'll have an advantage of fighting above, or if they go up this street, then it's going to turn into a slug match. So I really recommend looking at the map before you start making your moves. Really try to understand the terrain. I mean, that's basic military strategy 101 is terrain. Understanding your terrain is really the most overlooked factor. You don't really see that part. You know, if you watch a military movie or a TV show that has the military in it, they don't show you the hours and hours and hours of training that go into a military operation to make sure that they understand every variable with respect to terrain. All right, so what I'm going to do here is something I like to do. It's called chasing the rabbit. So I'm going to poke down one of my light mechs over here and see if we can get the enemy to focus on chasing that Valkyrie while the rest of us kind of work around to the rear. Okay. So let's get our Valkyrie up to max evasion. Kind of sprint it up, just see if we can get vision. What are we looking at here? So we got a behemoth. I don't see any mechs yet. Don't tell me we're up against one enemy vehicle. All right, so we're going to push forward here with our fire starter. All right, I'm not seeing any other enemy units. Alright, our Wolverine does not have a shot. So let's actually sprint our Wolverine. try to get into the rear of the enemy. Let's see. Let's push in our Griffin does not have a viable target well, so we'll just move the Griffin ahead to be kind of the front line. Alright, here we go. Here's some mechs. Alright, here we go. We got our Valkyrie here. So our Valkyrie actually has great shot at the rear of this vehicle. Let's make him pay. A lot of armor on that vehicle. It's going to take a couple rounds for us to beat him up. Oh, got reinforcements. This just got real. So let's push our fire starter down. Take our shots. Do the same thing with our Griffin here. Snub-nosed PPC. Still we're not busting through that armor. That thing's got some nasty armor on it. Alright, let's keep pushing our Wolverine around the rear, the right flank. Gonna take our shot here. We're not gonna push through the armor, I don't think. This thing's just got a lot of armor on it. We got multiple mechs coming in. Ooh, not good for our Valkyrie. Alright, so let's look at what we got here. So we got a 20-tonner. 20-tonner. The mechs here aren't that challenging. What do we got here? Unknown. Okay. So our Valkyrie got hit pretty hard there. So let's actually be smart about our Valkyrie. Let's move it back to cover. So we've got lots of enemy mechs coming in here. Just can't crack this armor. Armor on this vehicle is just unreal. There, finally, we needed to get rid of that vehicle. That armor was just too much. Alright, our Griffin. Let's see, we can actually, we got a target here. We got a locust. Can I? No, the hit percentage is too bad to use a precision strike here. So we're not going to do that. Alright, so we're just going to take our shot. Didn't think we were going to hit there. our Wolverine in a firing position here. A little better chance for a hit on this Locust. Do I take a precision strike here? Still lousy hit percentage. I'm not going to do that. We do have plenty of ammo, so let's take the shot. Hope we get lucky. Nope. That's okay. So this is going to be a long battle here. So we got to play this smart. We're going to get our Valkyrie a little bit out of the firing line here. Actually do something a little different here. Let's pull back. There's a method to my madness here. We need to get the enemy spread out a little bit. Using my lights right now to engage in a head-to-head battle is probably not the best idea. We're going to pull back. There. Let's see. Let's use our Wolverine. Hate to use so many precision strikes so early. But we need to take some enemies out here. Alright, there we go. So we got a fair amount of lights. So we can't just let them overwhelm us with numbers. So we need to do this smart. We can actually push forward with our Wolverine. And we got really good hit percentages here on a Wasp. I don't care about salvage on a Wasp, so let's just do center torso strike. Got to thin the herd a little bit here. Right. 20-ton mech. Alright, I want to keep see if we can keep them chasing the Valkyrie a little bit. Fire starter right there for the next round. Feels like we just got a whole bunch of lights that we're up against here. And the trick is we just don't want them to overwhelm us with numbers. So we're going to play a defense in depth here. time for us to get... Not quite ready to get Valkyrie back into this fight yet. Get our Valkyrie into this fight. Do I want to do that now? It's really tempting to take a shot at that wasp, but that's not the best long-term play here. This is a plan right here. Okay, let's hit this wasp. I want to string this out. Pull back just a little. Let's do some multi-target. Work the percentages. Oh, you're kidding me. That was a miss. Ouch. That was nasty. You people are rude. Huh. There we go. That's why I kept the Valkyrie in the fight. Firestarter's getting beat up here. Let's try this. All right, there we go. There goes another stinger. Another stinger. Did we raid a stinger factory? Oof. preserve some SRMs here. Alright, there goes a wasp. Alright. Push forward a little here. Don't have a target for my griffin, so we're gonna have to brace. Let's keep the fire starter evasive. Hit that stinger. Good hits there. Keep beating up my Valkyrie. Poor Valkyrie still has all of its weapons, which is important here. Let's use precision strike here. Need all the help we can get here, even from our poor Valkyrie. Push up our Wolverine. 50-50 shot here. Let's take it. Nope, no joy. Yes. Nice. Right, so we're actually down to 4 against 4. Of course, our Valkyrie's not going to be around much longer. But the more damage our Valkyrie can do before it's knocked out of this fight, the better. That wasn't very helpful. Alright, that's probably it for our Valkyrie. Right, let's push up our fire starter here. Hit the stinger while we can. so moving a Hornet next to a Wolverine within melee range, probably not the best idea, AI. Especially when I need to conserve ammo. Decisions. There we go. Got that stinger to eject. Kind of bailed out Parrot there in our Valkyrie. Right. So yeah, these are all lights. These are all lights we're up against here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just eject Parrot here. No point in getting additional damage to our Valkyrie or risking additional pilot injuries. I think we're in a pretty good place here. Okay, now that we know what we're up against, let's actually sprint up our fire starter. Like so. Let's push up our Wolverine. Got a Locust. And we got this Hornet here. Bad hit percentages all the way around. Alright, let's do multi-target. Really running out of SRM ammo, so let's just do a snub-nosed PPC shot there. Alright, let's get our fire starter into this. So we got a Valkyrie here. Rear shots on a Valkyrie. Alright. That Valkyrie's in a world of hurt now. Valkyrie has to pull back. And fortunately our Griffin's in a bad position. To help. I would argue that our Wolverine can kind of finish this out by himself without too much trouble. Let's do a precision strike here on the Hornet. There goes the Hornet. Good news is we're going to win this battle. Bad news is it's a lot of mech salvage on light mechs. But the good news is we did max out. We did put a lot of money into cash. So that helps a little bit. Griffin is really in a bad spot to help us here. finish off this Valkyrie. Oh, unless we completely miss on melee. What was that? Ooh, structural damage on our Wolverine from that Locust of all things. I mean, that was proof that even a Locust can, if you're up against enough lights, they can still take you out. If I had pushed too far ahead of time and just gone in full speed into these guys, they would have overwhelmed me with numbers. That's why I had to play it the way I did, by stretching them out. Yeah, our Griffin is completely useless here. Fortunately, a Firestarter and a Wolverine against a Locust, I think will be okay. So another precision strike here. See if we can take away that leg. There we go. Takes away the biggest advantage the Locust has, which is its evasion. Not that this battle's going to last much longer. Yeah, there we go. Mission successful. So that was 9 against 4. Keep in mind that most of the, well, all of the mechs were lights. Probably the most dangerous opponent there was that tank that we took out in the first couple rounds. But that was really a good ambush scenario, because if I had just pushed forward and attacked, even though I was outnumbered, even those Stingers and Wasps and Locusts would eventually have torn up enough of my mechs that we could have suffered some significant damage. As it was, we have to do some repairs to a Valkyrie, which is definitely a third tier mech for me right now. And the Valkyrie didn't lose any weapons. It was really just a leg and some structural damage, I believe. Ooh, we did lose our pilot for 35 days, so that's a bummer. It's a little bit of damage to our Firestarter. Ugh, look at this horrible salvage. All right. I can take the Wasp parts just so I can put together a Wasp and sell it. Same thing with the Stinger. Are there any weapons that we want? I don't think there are going to be, because these were all pretty lousy mechs. Yeah, so our best option is to take the 2 Wasp parts, then we can sell the Wasp parts. We got a Stinger, Locust, and a Hornet part. But more importantly, financially, we should be back in the black now. So that's going to pretty much wrap up our video stream here. If you're watching this on twitch.tv, check out our YouTube channels, Commando Gaming and Battletech Battles. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check out our Twitch channel at Commando Gaming 1. We have a pretty good schedule for Twitch. Alright, so we've got a wasp. We're definitely going to send to storage. Alright. So we're actually back financially in the black. Now we got repairs to do though. Oh, no, we did lose some weapons on our Valkyrie here. All right. Put our 2 medium lasers back on our Valkyrie here. We had a machine gun on it. Do we want? Let's put on a small laser instead of the machine gun. We need the replace our heat sink. Alright, so we're actually going to take off we're not going to be using this Valkyrie very much. Let's take off that SRM-6. And we'll put on a SRM-2. And we're going to beef up our armor as much as we can on a Valkyrie. Yeah, and we're just going to be a little under-tonned unless we put on another jump jet. Yeah, let's do that. So that's expensive repairs, but the Valkyrie is a decent scout light mech, so right, what repairs do we need to do on our we lost a heat sink. And we don't have a heat sink to replace it with. Alright. Okay, so we're going to be running a little hot in this fire starter, so we'll just increase the durability. Alright, day of repair for our Wolverine. Alright, so we want to push through as many missions as possible. Let's push up our fire starter and our Wolverine in the repair schedule for our next video. And that's going to wrap up this stream and video. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with some more Battletech action for you, both on Twitch and on YouTube. We'll see you soon.